Episode 6 of the Sip2Tally podcast. With spring ball starting around the area, we want to talk a little bit about recruiting. Give you a little 5 or 10 minutes and my tidbits on what the upcoming juniors and seniors should do with their summer and start their recruiting process if it haven't already started. Number one is be honest with your abilities. Everybody can't be a D1 player. Don't rule out the smaller schools if you know you're not a D1 talent. Don't rule out the NAIA schools, the D2, the D3, not even junior college. Some junior colleges you can go to and still be qualified. You don't have to go to a junior college just because you don't make the grades. Number two, when college coaches come to see your high school coach, your head coach, and you just happen to walk through the office and they're in there and you get introduced or in the hallway or whatnot, make sure you get a man a nice firm handshake and know your GPA, your ACT score, and your SAT score. Because if you're really serious about going to school, those 3 numbers or 2 numbers, whichever the case may be, will be at the top of your forefront. You won't forget them. You won't know them. You'll be working to get them higher all the time. That's why a student athlete comes in hand at. All right, number 3. This is the most important one to me. Make sure you camp at schools you're interested in. So if Lil Johnny is a NAIA type player, don't go camp at Florida State. Don't go camp at Miami. Go to that school that you really think you can get into so those college coaches can lay eyes on you. Those are the eyes you want to see. You know, maybe you can impress those guys and get whatever kind of scholarship package they may have or whatnot. Don't just continue to go spend random money at a Florida State unless you're doing an individual camp. Individual camp to get yourself better, that's one thing. But if you're going out there to compete against other guys and trying to think you're going to earn a scholarship, go to the school that you're really interested and really think you can get into. Next, become a leader of your team. So many of our young men are scared to become leaders of our team because they don't want to be looked upon or frowned upon when something goes wrong. Leaders of men are born. Some can be groomed, but when you're a leader of men, that trait carries with you for the rest of your life. Those guys that can be leaders of men in high school on the football team, they can go on to be leaders of Fortune 500 companies, whatever business venture they decide to go into, or even if they get to play college football or NFL football. Being a leader of men is a skill, is a trait that very few people have. And when you do have that quality and you can constantly be that leader, that's something that goes with you for the rest of your life. But the backside to that is you can't be a leader of men or a leader of your football team and lead sometimes. When you decide to take on that role to be a leader, you have to be that leader all the time. And sad to say, it's on and off the field. You can't be that leader on the field, then you're in school doing who knows what. When you take up on that role to be a leader, or even if you're elected a leader or like a captain or whatever, that should be a badge of honor you wear for that year or that game or that week, and make sure you do the right thing. Be a person of high character. And a friend of mine told me character is what you do when people can't see you. When you're not in the public eye, when you're not in the eye of your coaches or your parents, how do you handle yourself? That's when your character shows. And a high character person will go a long way in this day and age. And my last little nugget for the spring recruiting tidbits is make sure that you are well represented in the building. And what I mean by that is when a coach comes in and he talks to your high school coach, and obviously he's going to say all the good things about you. Make sure when that college coach goes to a random teacher and talks about you, that teacher has nothing but good things to say about you. Make sure when that coach goes and talks to the principal, or maybe even a custodian that sees you in the hallway, that they all have good things to say about you. And the way you do that is treating people with respect, treating people with kindness, treating people like you would want to be treated. You know, nobody likes a douchebag. And I know it's a lot of douchebag athletes out there that treat people less than them. Don't be that guy, because I know a lot of coaches will get that information from a random teacher, from a custodian, from an assistant principal that says, hey, Lil John is not like he seems all the time. He's always skipping class, he's always in the hallway, but he does do his thing on Friday night. That kind of guy can't be trusted or won't be trusted. Don't be that guy. Be the guy that your entire school knows that, hey, he does the right thing. He's a wonderful kid. He's a grateful kid. He's a humble kid. And I can't say humble enough. I probably should have said it 14 or 15 more times in this podcast. But make sure you're humble. Being humble will get you a long ways. And when you're not humble, this world has a way of humbling you. But that's what I want to just drop for this few minutes of my little mini episode of Sip2Tally, episode 6. We'll be back next week with some more content. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you like it, comment it, and the suggestions, put them up on the comment box, and I'll make sure to get to